How do we establish the connection between a parent and a child, especially at the early stage of the child's life, up until when the child is mature enough to make that sensible decision concerning his or her life? And how can a parent ensure that that connection is not disconnected or broken? Talking about connection between a parent and a child is that bonding, that emotional attachment that ensures that the child continues to depend on the parent and looks up to the parent in taking very sensible decisions. That connection that establishes trust between the child and the parent. This connection can be broken. Sometimes when the connection is broken, the parents may not even observe it until you take note of some very salient behavioral pattern from the child. When the child stops depending or stops believing or stops trusting in the parents' decisions and advice and opinion, you see the child starts to disconnect. And this disconnection could happen because the child has observed that the parent probably is not looking the direction that the parent should look towards as regarding his or her life. But these ones can be assumptions on the part of the parent, assumption on the part of the child. It can be innocent mistakes. And then sometimes when the parent gets a bit too busy and looks away from the child instead of focusing on the child at some point in the child's life. But how do you know that a disconnection is taking place or a detachment from the parent has happened or is in the process between a child and the parent? You can tell when a child that used to open up to the parent suddenly starts to keep things away from the parent instead of opening up like the child used to do. Disconnection is taking place already. And when the child starts to keep secrets away from the parent, you see, things that a child should open up to a parent about, the child starts to keep things to himself or herself. Then another sign that you know that a disconnection is beginning to take place or is established already in that parent-child relationship is when there's this unnecessary argument that takes place all the time between the child and the parent. Very avoidable arguments take place between the parent and the child. You know that a disconnection is happening already. And again, when the child does not want to spend quality time with the family. You know, families have their time together, quality time. It depends on the family. Individual families know how they have quality time. Some they take themselves out and check into the hotel. Some they just have time. They sit together and play games together, laugh together, come together, they pray together and all that. But you see that this child suddenly doesn't want to spend time with the family as a group. The child will rather be away. Talking about the child, I mean, from that early age up until puberty, that age that the child needs that emotional connection for that child to become that very confident adult tomorrow. But instead, the child is finding solace, is finding succor in someone else instead of the parent or the parents. It shows that a disconnection is going on and the parent has to do something about it. You can call the child nicely and find out what is going on in his or her life. And you have to be patient because the trust between the parent and the child got broken somewhere along the line, and the parent may not notice, or probably the parent noticed and felt so helpless and didn't know what to do. So, in trying to establish that connection once again, it's not something you think you have to do automatically or you expect it to happen suddenly. Meanwhile, that disconnection took place gradually. It was a process and it took place gradually over a period of time. So I am going to advise parents right now How do you avoid that disconnection? And how do you establish that connection that the child needs emotionally, physically, spiritually, all round connection that the child needs in that phase of the child's life? One, be available. Don't be an absentee parent. When I mean be available, when the child needs you in certain things, like if the child is in school, and there are times that parents come together to know the welfare of their children. You, as the parent, you are never there. You find something else more important than what concerns your child. Effective parenting requires sacrifice. You may have to give up something out of your busy schedules or adjust something in your life to be available for your child. Number two, know some tiny details about your child. A child gets excited when, in the course of discussion, he or she knows some little things. It could be, oh, so you know the name of my assistant teacher. Some parents may not even know the name of the form teacher of their child. So some little details. In the course of you talking with the child, you find that the child will be shocked to know that you know his or her best colors. It gets them excited. These things may just look so little. How was this woman talking about? These are little things, but these are the little things that go a long way to establish the connection between the parent and the child. So get involved and know little details about your child. Number three, let there be set rules. Children initially may not like set rules. They don't like rules, but they need it at the early stage of their life. They need those set rules. It helps them to know that there are boundaries, that they don't break these boundaries. And if you break the boundaries, there may be consequences. A child that you don't set rules for, later in the child's life, the child is going to tell you that you didn't bring him or her up properly simply because you overindulged the child. Sit the child down and let the child know that you just didn't break these rules to offend me alone. Don't forget that it depends on your religion. Like a Christian, let the child know that the Bible commanded him or her to honor the parents, honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long. With love, you whip this child back to line. And number four, I'm going to say this like I ended number three. Use love to win the child back to you. Each time there are consequences for the child's action. You don't leave that child in the arena of error. When you leave a child in the arena of error, what do I mean by arena of error? The child has committed an error and you just refuse to forgive the child. You act up each time you see the child, get so offended, and the child sees that you're offended because of his or her action, and the child is remorseful, yet you don't call the child back to embrace the child and to tell the child, no, I love you. No matter what, I love you, but don't do this again. This hurts me, this hurts you, this hurts God, this hurts the society. You don't tell the child that. You just stay on the arena of anger towards the child. That will not help the child. At the end of the day, this child is going to seek help somewhere else that may not be the best for the child. So, number five, I'm going to say to you right now, endorse your child. Most parents, it's only when the child commits offense, we let the child know that the child has broken rules. What about when the child has done something good, no matter how salient, no matter how small? So endorse your child. Let the child know that he or she is celebrated because of good behavior. Does something as little as it is. Please endorse the child. Tell the child, well done. And I've observed that African parents don't, they hardly tell their child, I love you. Please start it now. Tell that child, especially as they grow up from that age, let the word I love you come from your mouth to the child so that the day the child hears it outside, they won't think it's one strange alien word and he wants to explore the word love. No. So endorse your child, tell your child well done as the child is doing something, of course, commendable, and tell that child that you love him, you love her, so that the world out there that may not understand the true meaning of love tell the child, I love you, and the child now believes the word love to commit error. Let us, from the very beginning, do our best not to allow disconnection between parents and our children. This disconnection doesn't happen in a day, it happens gradually. But just be observant, watch out, and know when there's a change in the child's behavior. And that change could be because the child has even committed error out there, and the child feels is going to be so judged and sentenced. So the child decides to sentence himself to a change of behavior because he knows that's what's going to come from the parent anyways. So let us observe and let the child know that the child can always run to you irrespective of whatever happens out there. Don't forget that your child is not an angel and you are not an angel. So what does it mean? As long as you're prone to commit error, the child, we pray that they don't commit errors, but they are not angels. So let the child know that you are like a safety net, a place that he can run into, an unburden, a place he or she can come into and say the truth about whatever happened out there. And you will not immediately judge him or her. You will embrace the child, advise the child, scold the child, advise the child, and help the child to get a solution to that situation or that mess the child may have found himself or herself. Let's help these kids to grow up as confident children that will become confident adults because the society needs it. And it depends on us, the parents. Let's start with this effective parenting, which requires effort, sacrifice, and love. I know that all parents out there, God has given you the grace, and you will not fail God, you will not fail the child, you will not fail yourself. Let's go out there and do our best. And our best, as long as we keep practicing, will be good enough. Trust me. The effective parenting is possible. This is Mercy Moment. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage us to share these videos. Honestly, share these videos. These videos are really, really, really blessing lives and healing homes. Share the videos and also leave your comments. Add voice. Say something I did not say and let the person that will watch after you hear your opinion also. Thank you for watching. Enjoy God's mercy in full.